So you guys just saw the waterfall I just made. Getting in the fridge here. Of course, this episode of Ironside Garage is sponsored by Monster. No, it's not really. I wish. Hey, anybody from Monster, if you're watching, hook it up. So, obviously made a huge mess. I will have to wash this jacket, clean it up. I'm having some trouble getting this upper radiator hose off, so I disconnected it here. Now, I've got it all disconnected, so it should just pull up. First that. With these things, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But there it goes, it's coming out. So there's your old radiator. Out. And the one from Alloy Works appears to be the same dimensions. They make them for the C10s for like all year models, so appears to be about the same size. Might be a little thicker. I don't think we'll have any fitment issues there though. Like I said, I am going to pull these plugs off of this one here and here. Probably put some thread dope on them, a dust dauber nest there, and plug them into here. Yeah, that piece was looking pretty rough. Needed to go. That drain valve looks rough. Like, yeah, it just needed to go. So I'm going to go ahead and probably replace these clamps as well. But I'm having trouble getting that sucker off right now, so hopefully it'll be a little easier now that I've got it there. And then just backwards now, you know, I'll go ahead and, like I said, probably disconnect these heater hose lines for the heater and drain those, see if anything comes out of there. Disconnect the rest of this lower radiator hose down here and go ahead and get the new one like mocked up and in place, but we'll keep filming and keep going. Looks like the rubber bracket's okay. And if you've got, like I've got stuff down in there, so this would be a good time to clean any of that shit out. So I'll probably get the shop vac in here and vacuum those dust dauber nests and stuff. This thing was sitting outside for a while. It is sitting on the side here, but I'm gonna try to get this garage rearranged so that I can get it in here. But it's long, so I mean, the bed on this truck is like a week long, as my buddy would say. But that's where we're at right now. Catching you guys up here. So I did get the upper radiator hose off. I went ahead and moved the radiator out. I got plenty of good new clamps there. So I got the, in case you guys hadn't seen this before, I got the lower radiator hose off. I'm trying to spare y'all some of the not real interesting details. So obviously the lower radiator hose connects to the water pump there, and then the other side connects to the lower portion of the radiator. But back in the day, hopefully you guys can see this, they used to put these springs in here because the hoses weren't really good quality like they are now. I mean, you look at the new one, it's very, very thick, very dense. And I'm not worried about it collapsing, but what they used to do is put these springs in there, and that would keep it, when the engine would run hot, keep these hoses from collapsing. So who knows how old this hose is. I mean, the lower radiator hose is holding up, but you can see it's got a springs in there to keep it from collapsing. So a little old school technique there for you. I did remove the drain plugs from the older one for these two spots, and I got them cleaned up the threads and everything on them. And these are you can use a 9/16 on there. So I got them all ready to go, cleaned them up, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of thread dope on there. Probably don't even, you guys can see what I'm doing. Like I said, I sprayed them and degreased them a little bit, and then I'm just gonna check to make sure that they fit already. I'm just gonna thread these in there a little bit. Same thing with the other one. Put a little thread dope on there. You may not need to do this, but better safe than sorry. And thread that one in a little bit, and then I'll tighten all those up. I said I'm gonna just kind of catch you guys up and spare y'all, make sure this is tightened down before you put it in there. Spare y'all some of the details. I did have to move this back in order to get that lower radiator hose. I'm gonna disconnect here, and I'm gonna disconnect here. So drain those lines if they've got any fluid in them. They probably don't at this point. I'm sure I know there's still some fluid in the block. But But I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all that stuff, and then I'll do the braided stainless steel lines on there, and I'll spare y'all from seeing all of that. I mean, it's not super interesting, but I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Make it look a little prettier in here, and yep, that's it. So that's the update right now. Show y'all. So I got the fittings in here, sealed up and everything, so that should be good. I think they're tight enough. I wouldn't go too tight on them, you know, hand tight. And I did, you know, put some thread dope on there. And then the rubber seals, I vacuumed down in here. Show you guys. So get that out of the way there. So get that straight out of the way. I vacuumed and cleaned all that out. And then here are the rubber seals that were on the bottom. They were in good shape, so I just put them back. And this shouldn't take real long once I get it going in the, you know, reinstall direction. But right now I'm just trying to get all this stuff fitted and everything. Mostly this is the braided stainless steel line. It takes forever to trim. So that's where we're at right now. But I just wanted to check in with you guys. I'll have this done before, you know, before too long. I'm done with this, almost done with this second hose here. But this is how I've been filming for y'all. I just throw the camera up in there in my face there, and then that's how I've been filming. So if y'all, that works for you, let me know if that helps, so you can see a little more of actually like what I'm looking at. Let me know. But we're just gonna keep going. I'm almost done with that second coolant line, and those will run right off the water pump. I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss anything that like I've been doing. But I'll strap it back to my head here once we do the reinstallation of everything, fitting the radiator in. Just gotta be real careful. I don't want to damage the core, the fins on the outside of that radiator. So just try to make sure that everything's free and clear once that goes back in. And it should be pretty easy from there. Put fluid in it and then crank it up, make sure nothing's leaking, make sure everything's tight, and that should be it, man. That should be a pretty easy install. And hopefully it will keep it a little cooler, because it's been running on the warm side, but it might be because it's leaking, or who knows. But according to the temperature gauge, whether that's accurate or not, it's running a little bit warm after a little while. So I'm hoping that this will bring us to a better operating temperature, but we'll see.